Yeah, I just fired it up because it said 12:30 on the page. Sorry.
Oh, cool. No, we're good. We're good. I'm all.
Correct. So the correct answer is, in fact, yes.
What's that?
De La Cruz will have a stolen base.
Oh, did he already do it?
Oh, yeah, very quick.
That is ridiculous.
Hit, steal, and then steer with basically an inside the park home run, but he got a triple.
Oh, wow.
Triple and scored. Yeah.
Too bad I didn't play the Cincinnati, I guess.
Me neither.
I
got one lineup out of 50. I got one lineup out of 50 with both De La Cruz and Steer. So those guys win.
That's pretty funny. Oh my God, I'm seeing posts about it. All right, so do you want me? I'll share my screen here. We can go game by game for this one.
So this one's kind of cool. So what you have to do for me, so you get, I haven't even looked at the actual games yet. I just ran the projections. So I don't know why I like doing this, but so I have two guys like pitchers that are really, really high owned. And I'm going to try to figure out without looking like who they might be playing. You know what I mean? Like, so like right now, and then we can go back game by game if you want. But now I have Tanner Beebe and Nathan Eovaldi, one at 40% and then Eovaldi at 36%. I was trying to think of like who these guys could possibly be playing. Where on a slate with both Cole and Glass now on the slate, and I don't know who they're playing either yet. Actually, I do know who Cole's playing.
Yeah, just factor in that all the projections are completely off because Glasnow officially wasn't even playing on most sites. Most sites didn't even have him in 2 hours ago. But he is pitching. You know, he's coming off an injury.
No, but I have those guys at like 30% owned also, like those two.
Right, but I think that I just think that there's something a little bit. Maybe it's because I've been looking at SaberSim too much, but anyway.
Let me finish my thought. So who could be, forget Cole and Glasnow for a second. So who could Beebe and Eovaldi be actually pitching? So it's got to be, in my opinion, well, the A's are already early slate. So without even telling me, don't tell me yet. It's got to be like, and Seattle's on the slate too. One of them's got to be against the White Sox, and the other one I would imagine is going to be against, I don't know, Detroit? Who is it?
Yes, but I don't think that you nailed it.
Really? Both of them? Okay.
But I think that I'm not sure the ownership would be all that different if they were, unless it was like a really tough matchup. Those guys are really good, you know. So I don't think it's a huge gap between them and the top ones. I mean, you've got the off the injured list, you've got Glasnow. Curious to think what we're going to have him throw pitch wise. They've got him at 80 on SaberSim. I think that seems reasonable, maybe a little bit higher. But and then you got then Garrett Cole against the Mets, and then that's the one that's going to be interesting. So let's go game by game here and see if we can figure out.
Oh my God! And there is somebody else pitching today who I didn't think was still in the league.
Who?
Robbie Ray is pitching.
He's back. He's off the injured list against the Dodgers.
He's back.
Robbie Ray, stack, and then make sure to play some of them. Always the old rule.
And he is 7% owned.
But I don't think we can play.
Oh.
I mean, I guess maybe you could argue that like they wouldn't let him come back or whatever. But I'm just gonna see let me just get real quick, get a pitch count on Ray because I was curious about what they would put up here anyway. So he's at 7,200. Oh, that's pretty cheap. They have him at 87 pitches, and I'm just gonna see what his strikeout rate is here. Like Robbie Ray, 5.4. That's not bad. But I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you need to do it. I'll get into the first game real quick. I have no interest in the hitting in this game at all. But I do think that both pitchers are viable. Like it's hard because Flaherty is I just think he falls beside everybody else. It's a tough matchup with Cleveland. They don't strike out. We all know the stories. And I do have BB as a priority for me today. I think that you're going to have four pitchers that I'm going to have as semi-priorities, maybe just three. But I like the pitching and I like BB here, and I do not have any interest in the hitting in this game whatsoever.
Rewind and hit play. Ditto for me. BB, one of the top, and I have what's my list? I think I have four pitchers above most. And then I have none of the hitting as well. So we're on the same page as far as this game goes.
Nice. And as I jump into the next game, I'm going to remind everybody we canceled our free trial, but we are doing a $10.99 trial, which is for the $300 package for 3 days. A lot of people seem to like it, so I would encourage people to check that out. And also, there's the membership page for those of you to see what we have to offer. Basically, everything from SaberSim, everything SaberSim has, along with Sheets' projections, along with Goldie's projections, along with my content, Rhodey's content, Brandon Cruz, Chan when we get into LOL big time season. So take a look at it. I think we're a good site to join, and we've got a great Discord. So hopefully you guys can jump on in. Anyway, moving on to Baltimore, Miami. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
I mean, I could. I mean,
Yeah.
I have both of these pitchers is definitely below the main contenders, to say the least. But I mean, I don't know. It's 5% owned. Both these guys. Actually, I have McDermott at 10, and was Cabrera 5%. I mean, listen, Baltimore's tough, but I mean, 5% is 5%, I guess. When it comes to the hitting here, I'm not really. Well, I guess Baltimore looks. Does Baltimore look reasonable? Yeah, I got Baltimore looking okay. So I have Baltimore, one of the better stacks, I guess, on the board, and certainly nothing from Miami.
Yeah, and to your point, like so the McDermott they called up. He's had like really good strikeout stuff in the minors, but not like been like a consistent like great pitcher or anything. Just he's had really good strikeout stuff. I don't know. The Cabrera, like, first of all, I would probably bet the under on this K prop if it's really 5.5. I know this is just the expected strikeouts, but they've got a 5.2. 5.2 projected strikeouts for a guy 6,300 in a vacuum is not a bad idea. I don't know that I'm buying that. This guy hasn't faced more than 17 batters since early May. I just don't know that I'm going to be able to click that button on Cabrera. And at the same time, I think that. I mean, I'm just curious where we really end up with ownership-wise on Baltimore, because I do like Baltimore. It obviously is a park downgrade for them, but I mean, we don't get to play these guys very often. They're expensive. But they're one of there's 4 like really elite offenses in baseball, and they are one of the 4. So at low ownership, I don't mind a little bit of Baltimore.
Okay.
But we're going to go on to San Diego, Washington. San Diego, Washington, it's Waldron and Parker. I have no interest in the Parker. I still, I understand he's had some decent outings. It's not like he's been like, unbelievable, but he's been solid enough. It's a terrible matchup for him. It's nice hitting weather, 83 degrees in Washington, pretty decent hitters park. To be honest with you, I probably end up on the outside looking in, not play a ton of lineups. I'm going to be traveling right after we finish our show later. But I think that both of these teams would fall into the category of teams I'd be okay to use. Maybe San Diego is not a bad, it's a park upgrade. They're much better against lefties. But, man, that lineup just doesn't feel the same without Tatis, and I don't know. So I probably don't end up getting these guys, but I certainly think if you're playing lots of lineups, you should definitely get to at least the San Diego side. That's where I'm at anyway. Yep.
Pass.
All right. Moving on to the Battle Subway Series, New York. So, all right. So I'm very confused by, and this is SaberSim's thing. It's not really the real total. But even the real total being you're not used to seeing Garrett Cole go up against 3.7 to 4 totals. It's a little weird to me. We've also got him back expected at 95 pitches, which, again, we know he could throw 15 more than that, and it wouldn't be surprising. We know that he could throw 10 less, and it wouldn't be it might be a little surprising. He'd probably have to get hit pretty good. So I like Garrett Cole a ton. He's my other priority pitcher. I think he and Beebe are my 2 favorites, but again, we could have a conversation about some of the other guys. And I like the Yankees stack a little bit. Manaea, I think, has been I should say not much more. He's been overall more consistent. He got hit, he had a lousy game the last time out. He's been more consistent overall this season, but he does have that blow up in him where if he starts missing the strike zone, you can really make him pay. And you're going to probably have those cheap Yankees again, which are going to come with hey, look, they're probably getting pinch hit for at some point, but I still think it's worth taking a shot. And so I have the Yankees as one of the teams to target today.
Yep. definitely Cole is one of the top plays on the board. They're going to probably have to drag him off the mound in the game against the Mets. These games are very, these Subway Series games are for real, and I do like the Yankees as well. So yeah, definitely like Cole. Definitely like the Yankees.
And by the way, if you can find a pitch prop out there that has Cole at 95, bet the over. I'll tell you that right now. Garrett Cole, if this game is close, is probably not. If he's pitching okay, he's throwing over 100 pitches pretty much all the time, unless something just inning wise weird happens. All right, Tampa Bay, Toronto. I am not getting to any of this pitching, and yet I didn't find myself overly excited about the hitting. Although Tampa Bay did show up a little bit, so I was curious to see if you got anything here.
Nope.
Ooh, just cleaning with it. I love it.
Cleaning house.
Yeah, making a small slate small.
We're making even a smaller. Now I'm getting a little bit concerned that it might be. But is there anybody that chalky?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think the Yankees end up more popular than they're being projected. I think that Tampa Bay gets some ownership. I think that the Arizona KC game is probably where people go to. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, moving on to Eovaldi. Usually not a guy who I tend to take the anti-Eovaldi approach a little bit more than most. Tonight is I guess this is the other offense that everyone's going to play. Eovaldi is, I think, just for me, I'm going to put him again. I guess I can have a core for more than two pitchers, but I do put Eovaldi as the next one in there. And if this ownership stands to be true, Texas is being way underowned. Just saying right now, this is an absolute spot where you want to play Texas, and I will load up on Texas. My favorite, just raw point stack of the day, even with all the frustration they've caused me. I am interested in Texas in a major way here, so that's where I'm at. Some Eovaldi for sure, and definitely Texas.
Boy, we're gonna probably get crushed tonight because
we're on the same page.
We're just way too much on the same page. Texas, I have as my favorite stack of the board, and Eovaldi, one of the top 4 pitchers, and it's probably going to be 3 if you talk me off glass now later. We'll get there. But yeah, Texas, and we already mentioned Yankees. I also would like to say now that the number of stacks is starting to dwindle a little bit, I do want to say that just on a pure value basis, I kind of sold Miami a little bit short, just because they're always cheap. I thought Miami was kind of an okay value from over there, but
yeah, it's interesting against the young pitcher. It could go either way. Definitely, could see that happening.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to Arizona and Kansas City. And look, Sheets, I'll tell you what, there's one guy neither of us seem to be able to get right. It's Michael Wacha. I feel like every time he comes out and pitches, we don't want to play him. We're against it. And then what did he go last time? He put up 30, against the White Sox, and I just didn't want to play him. And that's what you get. Anyway, he's got a tougher matchup today, but I think this is another spot where I have no interest in pitching. I do think this is a good spot to go to for hitting. It's 90 degrees in Kansas City with basically no wind. I would be totally happy to get to either of these teams. I thought they'd be more popular. I think by the end of the day, they will be more popular, but this would be the other spot, after Texas, probably my favorite spot to target, except for, again, I think the ownership comes up a little bit as the day goes on.
I have Arizona. Yeah, I have them rated like 4th, As a matter of fact, I mean, when I'm really looking at this, I actually have them rated a little higher than the Yankees. So I guess that's worth something. So yeah, so I definitely think Arizona's pretty good here. They'll probably be low. I guess they'll be lower than the Yankees. I guess they kind of have to be. So yeah, I definitely like Arizona here.
Yeah, I could get behind it, but I think that I wouldn't sleep on those Royals against Reed Nelson either. That guy has been good the last few starts, and I don't know what's gotten into him. Like, this guy was. Maybe I have to change my point of view about him because he's been really good, but I just feel like it just feels not as real as it has been. So I don't know. When I watch him pitch, I don't get the feeling that he's the kind of guy who's putting up 25 every game. But yeah, I look up and it seems like it's been happening. What is happening here? Why? Oh, Goldie didn't have the projection on. That's why I couldn't get the projection on them. Okay, Glasnow. This is not going to be what Glasnow is owned tonight. First of all, they have him at 30% ownership, and this is at 80 pitches, and they still have him at 19 fantasy points. That's really unusual.
I have a question. It's my mistake if we didn't talk about this. Did you talk about Tampa today?
Yeah, I mentioned that. I thought they were a decent stack that was getting more ownership that I probably would be on the outside looking in for me.
Yeah, because I just re-looked at that and they look kind of just okay. All right, fair enough. So you got 2 ILs, right, from the San Francisco game, it looks like.
Yeah, 2 guys off the IL, and look, it's if I felt confident, Glasnow would throw more pitches, and I think there's actually a chance. It's not like he's been out forever. There's a 15-day DL. He was last pitched on the 5th of July, and I'm not like overly worried about it. About his, I think that there's a chance he could get the pitches, but my point is that do we need to embrace that risk? Not to mention that it's like San Francisco is a decent matchup on paper. I tell you, I just never feel as great about the Dodger guys against San Francisco in general. But happy as a Dodger fan that Glasnow is back. I do like him. He's just below the other 3 for me. But because I just don't trust. I don't feel safe either way about the pitches. You could tell me what he was going to throw, and I wouldn't feel safe. And you could sign me up for the Dodgers today. Again, it's going to be weird. They're going to be low owned. It's a matchup where, again, you've got a boom bust pitcher who we haven't seen in forever. I mean, when was the last time he pitched? He pitched in spring.
He's not making it out of the second inning. There's just no way.
So let's go Dodgers. I mean, that's what I'm in on. The Dodgers in Texas are my headliners for the week, for the day. And again, you mentioned the Yankees and the Arizona. I talked about Arizona, KC. Those are the other spots that I'd be looking at. But I love the idea of getting to some Dodgers, as I keep reminding everybody. Another warm night, 83.
How are we going to do it though? I mean, how do we get there?
Well, so you don't have to play all the best Dodgers. I mean, you've got some really cheap Dodgers. Like, look at these guys on the screen. Kike is 2,900, Chris Taylor's 2,800, Miguel Vargas is 3,100, Pages is 4K. Rojas probably won't be in the lineup. Well, he's banged up. We don't know. He keeps not playing when they keep having him questionable. So maybe he does make the lineup.
Not only that, but the pitchers that we want to play aren't even expensive. I mean,
I know. So I feel good about this. It's going to be hard to play Will Smith, Teoscar, Shohei, and then Corey Seager from Texas or something. But overall, I think there's a lot of ways to make the stack work. For what it's worth, the Dodgers, like in general, the bottom of the lineup has been terrible all year, but they've been a little bit better. Again, nothing crazy, but they've been a little bit better. And I would bet Gavin Lux is in the lineup tonight. He's not currently projected on Saberson to be in the lineup. I think he makes the lineup tonight, and he's another cheap bat too. So, but I like the Pages. I like the Vargas. There is pinch hit risk with these guys. They only really have it's really mostly like Hayward who they're going to be using off the bench, but you might also see Austin Barnes start and no Will Smith. So if there's no lineup out before lock, it's going to force you into some weird decisions. I guess if you're playing one of the first games, otherwise you can just adjust later. But I like this spot a lot. Go ahead, Cheeks.
I got another one. We didn't really talk too much about it, but just because this guy's like, man, I can't believe I got this right and I didn't make all the money. When I stacked against Sean Manaea when I took the Miami guys.
Oh yeah.
Thinking of Sean Manaea here, I mean, he's been. I do think that he's been a beneficiary of good matchups, which is one of the reasons why I took Miami last time. But I was trying to think and he was coming off the 107 pitches, right?
Right.
If the Yankees end up really popular, maybe I'll get to some of this Manaea business.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
I just don't see any reason for me. I'm not going to play. Maybe it's because I'm not playing enough lineups tonight to just get that creative with pitching. And if I was going to, I'd play the kid for Baltimore.
Right. No, I'm just
upside. So I like these. I like these top 4. I don't really see a need to jump into other stuff as I did. As I mentioned, if I did, it'd be guys like Chase McDermott. I guess you throw Manaea in the mix, maybe throw Eflin in the mix. But I don't really think you need to do any of that. And maybe I should go back and look at this Tampa Bay thing, because every time I feel like you say Tampa Bay, they end up going nuts. But every time I do it, it just doesn't work out for me. So
meanwhile, we're gonna be done with the golf before we even get out of the first inning here in the Reds game. It's like, it's crazy.
Oh my God, what's happening?
The inning finally ended. End of the first.
What's the score?
4-1. End of the first.
4-1. Is it 4-1? I assume the Reds, right?
Yeah, 4-1 Reds. End of the first.
I wonder, did our number 2 guy do anything? I don't think he did.
No, Fraley hit a home run.
Alvarez got a hit too. Okay,
at least
he got 3 for 2K. That's not bad. All right. So that's sort of the slate. I think that we might be able to jump into the golf a little bit earlier. I'm gonna edit.
Yeah, I could do golf. I could do golf at 1 o'clock. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Good luck to everybody. We'll see you guys in the Discord and see you live at. I gotta get right live.